I'm going to preface this video with the amount of distractions I have had the first 3 takes is insane. So, we have popcorn. The pug has been out. The child is in the shower. The parents have been fed. Let's hopefully get back to Protura. Alright, we are talking about this creature. This is part 3 of going over this, and I am diving into the final morphology and then odd behaviors, so that I think deserve a lot more attention. I rushed the end of the last bit when I was talking about the legs. I rushed through it kind of to get it done because I was almost hitting like the 10-hour-minute mark. Or I was hitting the 9-minute mark, and that kind of gets me all like flustered because I know I'm gonna add pictures and then I'm gonna cut over. So back to the legs really quick. All right, so the enlarged front legs, or what we would call the forelegs, and the cone heads very specifically use these as the antenna. They hold them rear facing up and they kind of move them like this. They are completely sensory organs. Ugh, Jesus Christ. That is extremely unique to them. So if there is anything out of these 3 videos you retain morphologically, it's that they've got really weird front legs. Okay? To the point where they got a word made for it. Okay? It's antenna form. So the second and third legs really don't matter. They're rear-facing, ambulatory. Picture again to show you how distinctly large these are. Okay, now I'm on to the abdomen. Last part. Okay, segments 1 through 3 have another unique feature that is very much proturan, or conehead. It's these irreversible styli, okay? And that's just a really funky word for their vestial legs, okay? Or their vestial flaps, more or less, okay? So the first styli is usually 2-segmented or 1 consolidated segment. The second and third either have 1 segment, 2 segments, or completely just unsegmented flaps. Okay, those second and third is very much dependent on the family. Okay, so that shows a lot of deviation. And these are very much crustacean in origin. Think of a lobster, how they have those flaps. These are remnants of that. Okay, so they are plural in nature. The flappy thing, okay? There's a term for that in crustacean. Oh, I swear to God, I know what I'm talking about. Okay, so we got, and picture. Okay, I highlighted them in purple, so you'll see the first one's really longer, the second 2 are shorter, okay? Now we get to the 8th segment, okay? In some species, the 8th segment contains a defensive pair of glands that produce something. No one knows what it is. The source I found said mucus or secretion. So that is a broad spectrum there. And that goes into their behavior. It is not on every cone head, but it is specific, and more specifically, I believe the Italian one, the one that's well defined and studied, has it. So then we get to the 11th and 12th segment. And that is where the genitals are, or what contains the internal pocket that we would call the gonopore, okay? And there's some back and forth on whether their mating is external or internal, because some sources says it was external, which would make sense for a lot of these hexapods. But then there was one source that very specifically said he saw them like kind of pairing up, but there was no locking. So I don't know if it's kind of like a spider where they transfer spermophore, and the female just pick it up. Now, interestingly enough, this is very similar to Diplura, and there is some interesting thing there, but I don't know if it's actually related or if it's just a correlation. Okay? But the 11th and 12th segment have this. The 12th segment is where the telson is located, and telsons, again, are very uniquely crustacean. Okay? It's a crustacean feature. So this is very much another ancestral trait that was taken back from that lineages and those ancestors. It's the only hexapod that has a telson. Only one. No other hexapod has a telson. So that's unique as well. The telsons also usually contain the anal openings or the secretion tubes. But they don't have the same system as the normal ectinonaths. So, and the only other thing about the abdomen is the lack of a tracheal system. Okay, I just realized I'm missing an L right here. Hold on. Okay, I have my L in my notes now. So that again is unique. Now, interestingly enough, going back to the thorax where I said the spiracles were on either the meso or the meta, his standard is that the spiracles and the tracheal system is in the abdomen for hexapoda, or for general insects, for echinognathia. So the fact that this is so different is something unique for them, and really split them off from echinognathia. So there you go. There's the abdomen morphology. Yeah. Now we're into molting and then odd facts about behavior. So I got to cram all this in 4 minutes. Telson picture. Telson. Okay, that was the telson picture. Oh my God, I'm doing so bad tonight. Molting. They have 3 molts. Three molts. Again, there is some weird discrepancies between the molting, and there's also one family that has a very unique stage. So in general, hatching is called pre-larval. They either hatch with 9 to 8 segments. Academic sources say 9. Wikipedia and one other source says 8. Important part about the pre-larval is that they hatch with underdeveloped mouth parts. So they don't really know what they eat at this period. They think it's just sucking up stuff. But it's the distinct characteristic of a pre-larval hatch is they have very underdeveloped mouth parts and underdeveloped legs. Okay, they're still there, but they're not very well functioning. The next stage is they gain 9 segments completely, or they have 9 segments and they had it at the other stage. They gain a mouth and legs. Okay, so at this stage they become functioning. Okay, that's called a protonymph too. Okay, so the next stage is deuteronymph, and that is 10 segments. Nothing truly unique. The next one is called a triton nymph, and that also is called like major terrest juniors in some sources. They gain the 11th segment, and then that one unique family has an additional stage in between here called imago. Okay, again, only in one family, and the only thing that happens in this is they develop partial genitalia. Okay, and then you have the adult stage where they gain 12 segments and their genitals, and they are considered sexually mature. So there you go. I'm not going to fit the odd facts in, so I guess I got another video.